need to set the expectations with management that's correct. And that's a hard thing to do because everybody that is out there in the market today is telling you how easy it is. And it's not. It's hard. And so you need to get and understand. It's not impossible. It can be done and it can have a huge ROI, but you got to set those expectations correct. And then a major piece is managing change. We see time and time again. I just saw an implementation that was done by another group that they got to the goal line and everything was going great. Everybody's happy, excited, blah, 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 changing it. It's low cost, quick, but they forgot to train the end users. And the end user's like, wow, this is a lot of work. Well, they wanted to get better visibility, and to get better visibility, you've got to enter data. And so it's a simple thing, but when it hit the fan, it was like, wow, this is too hard. Where was the CEO who knew that, should have known that, and his management team and telling those people, yes, it's hard, but this is what we need to improve the business. So managing change is critical. I mean, change is going to occur. Think about it. Every company is putting a new system, and everybody's got touch a new system is going to have to deal with change. Another point is I would urge you to the C-suite to take responsibility for this project. You can't expect a vendor to bail you out. You have to be doing your role and do it well and take responsibility for the success of the project. And then strong leadership, the C-suite, the executives, project management, good governance is critical to these particular projects. Couple of additional things. Getting educated is very important. At this particular stage, if you're early in the cycle, you need to really focus on great education, getting to know what these systems are, getting your team starting to educate on what best practices are. Also, having ERP expertise on your team is very, very important. The ERP expertise, you can't do without it. It's a much tougher project if you do this with just your current team that's never gone through one of these projects. You're making it a lot harder. So how do you get that? Either you hire it or you buy it. So think about that in terms of what kind of expertise do you have, and what kind of expertise should you add to your team? Rule of thumb might be 20, 30% of your team should have expertise on that. And you can certainly roll with a number of people that have gone through this new, but you need to have experience, management, and a core part of your business process owners need to have previous experience. Mentioned change management. That's just a little bit redundant there. I'll pass on that. Data management is critical for these projects. You need to place a lot of attention on this. Probably 7 out of 10 projects take longer because the data management was not done well. And then risk management. You need to be looking at what are the risks. You need to have the governance, have risk management as part of it. What can go wrong? I'll give you an example of one particular company where they had been trying to implement a system, a very popular ERP system, for 6 years. They restarted their implementation 3 times. 3 different times. Part of this was economy, so it wasn't all the company's fault. But one of the things they did is they brought us in to do a lessons learned for them after the 3rd time, after the 6 years. So we came in and we did a diagnostic study of everything that had gone on, and did a lot of interviewing, and came up with some very specific points that had been affected in error. CEO involvement, no future state, no justification, more of an IT project, a culture of, you can have whatever you want, lack of control, lack of governance, et cetera, over and over, and the wrong team. I mean, you can just go through the list and everything I've said they had done wrong. So you need to think about these, because these projects can go off the rails, obviously, and you need to have risk management that's looking at those things to figure out, well, what could go wrong and how do we mitigate those particular risks.